Hey, what up folks? Jesse here with Southern Reels, and it's been a pretty chill weekend for me, I'm gonna be honest with you. As you guys know, I've bought a lot of stuff for my pro angler. I really wanted to spend some time and take my time putting all the stuff on it and putting it in it properly. So with that being said, I do have my motor mounted on the pro angler right now, the Torqeedo motor, and also have the Sonar finished up, pretty much up and running. And I was actually able to take it out, a little bit earlier today and check it out and kind of go for a test run on all of it, and it worked awesome. The Sonar actually worked flawlessly. No complaints at all about that, other than there's a massive learning curve on this system because it's got so much functionality built into it. It's actually going to take me quite a while to figure it all out. There's a couple little issues on a Torqeedo motor that I'm going to have to work through, but anyway, let me just show you guys what I got here real quick. Oh yeah, first and foremost, you will notice numbers on the Kayak now. The unfortunate side effect of putting a trolling motor or any type of motor on a kayak, canoe, boat, whatever, is you have to register it. That was definitely an added expense. Wasn't too bad. It was like 70 bucks for 3 years. But as you see, I got the motor unit on the back here, pretty much all mounted up. This custom mount that I had made here, because I really didn't want to drill any holes into the Kayak. So I actually had this aluminum plate fabricated that mounts to this rear grab rail. As you see, it mounts behind that. And also mounts up here on the two back screw covers, this steering cover plate here. Basically, I still keep the functionality of to be able to pick it up. It's still nice and strong. The motor and everything is mounted good and rigid. I put a really crappy paint job on it, which I'm probably going to end up redoing. To be honest with you, I'm probably going to have to change some of this, because what's happening is, as you see, the motor shaft here, it actually isn't very long. The water level when you're in the water is, I'd say, probably about right in here. The prop is just barely under the water. The issue is, once I get up to about 4 miles an hour, it starts cavitating, because the water basically is rushing past this round pipe right here and creates this swirling vortex here, and the prop starts sucking air in. So today when I took it out and tested it, and I'll show you the video, actually I'll show you that right now. All right, hey folks, Jesse here, and I got this thing out on the water to do a quick water test on it. As you see, we got the display up and functioning, everything hooked up. Also got the Sonar up and running. I've already done some trial runs with it, but I can only seem to get up to about 4 miles an hour. And I run into a cavitation problem, which I have read is an issue on a pro angler, because the motor sits up so high. Steering is awesome. This thing, I tell you, it'll spin right around. It's crazy how fast it'll turn you. I'm gonna get it back to the shop and see what I can do to solve the cavitation problem. Keep messing with it until I figure it out. It actually did really good. I had the steering pretty much nailed. Just to show you that here on the floor, as I turn the rudder here, it basically steers the motor like so. All I had to do was cut some holes in the plate, basically tie the strings onto it, tie it right to the motor. So this motor actually turns exactly in conjunction with the rudder. That's a really neat feature. It actually works really well. The other ropes here, this one here is what holds it down if you're backing up, and this one here is what lifts it. And I've got them basically run through pad eyes up to the front here, and I mounted the two tie-down cleats right here. When I pull this one, it basically raises the motor up like so. And the way I've kind of got it designed right now was to where at that point you can just take this motor, slide it forward like this, wrap a strap around it, strap it right down, and this can be transported like this. You don't have to worry about taking it off, which was my whole thought about doing the mount like this, was being able to get it to where it can stay on the Kayak basically. The only issue is the cavitation. Really, there's only two solutions. One is to drop the motor farther down into the water by adjusting this here down as far as I can get it, and the other one is, I've seen online where guys wrapped like an aerofoil type thing around here that gets rid of that swirling vortex that this round pipe creates. I also seen online where some guys took like a piece of PVC cutting board like this and basically shape it and mount it over top of the motor like that, where it's almost like a hydrofoil on an outboard pretty much. I don't know what I'm going to do about it, so it's going to be like a trial and error thing. I have the battery actually mounted up under the seat here. You can kind of see that. I got it strapped in good, and I have the throttle mounted right here on this side. Just using a ram ball and basically a coupler, and it's really convenient. That way I can steer and operate the throttle with my left hand while I'm pretty much, fishing, because you're usually holding your fishing pole. At least I am, because I'm right-handed. The layout I think is going to work for it. I just got to solve the one cavitation issue. Anyway, enough about the motor. I've got the Sonar all mounted up using the same amount almost as my other Sonar that I had. And this is the HDS7. As you see, it's actually not too big, but just to show you the difference, here's my old Humminbird setup right here, the little Helix 5 SI. As you see, there really isn't too much size difference. They're pretty similar in size. Does have a lot of wires though, and I did have to do this giant through-hole connection right here because the plugs that come off of the Structure Scan 3D transducer are big, but this is a really awesome fitting that they gave you. So that actually took care of that. That's not too big of a deal. And then where the wires come out, I did a Hobie three-way plug right here. It's basically a design that Hobie makes that allows like 3 wires to pass out of it. So that's what I used to come out of the hole down there basically. Other than that, a big problem with the Sonar system is this unit draws almost 3 amps, where my old Humminbird only drew like 650 milliamps. This system here, the Sonar system here, would literally run the battery setup that I did in about 3 hours. And what I basically did was come up with a whole new battery solution. You can see it down in there. This is basically a home-built battery tray out of a cutting board from Walmart. I shaped it to where it's got a round bottom and with carpet under it. It rests on this thing here, and the battery is pretty big. I mean, it's a 50 amp hour battery, marine battery, and it should run this Sonar and any lights or anything I put on this kayak for 12 to 16 hours, no problem. So, oh yeah, and another issue with the Sonar is the Structure Scan 3D module that it comes with is not waterproof by any means. I didn't realize that, so I actually have it mounted in a dry box up underneath here behind where the battery is. There's a big dry box that I bought and basically put the setup in it and drilled all the holes for the cables to come through and then sealed it all up with marine sealant. It takes forever to dry. That had a lot to do with why this took so long. It took a week for that sealant to dry, and I've got it lit up in there as far as I can get it and then elevated with the foam cushions that come stock in the Hobie. I basically cut them to fit to lift it as far as I could to keep hopefully water from getting to it as much as possible. So that was another challenge with the Sonar system there. Not to mention the fact that it has 2 transducers. I'll show you the first one, which is this massive one that I actually found a pretty good solution for. The Burley Pro cover, hopefully that'll take care of the protecting the transducer up under there. Actually back here in the back, you barely see it, but up in there is the other transducer. I basically took my skeg off to have a place to mount the other smaller traditional Sonar transducer. Almost 3 years of owning this kayak, I have never used the skeg once. Just getting out on the water and forgetting that it's down and out there trying to steer. It's like, why is my kayak not turning, damn it? And realizing, oh shit, the skeg, you know, I gotta pull it up. So I just took it off. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked about the setup, which brings me to my next topic. Obviously, I've put a lot of money into this kayak now. And how do you protect that, especially considering what happened a couple weeks ago, you know, when we got swamped out in the surf, and it got me thinking. So I actually looked into ways to protect it, and come to find out I can insure this kayak basically just like you insure a boat. And check this out, for $155 a year, I was able to insure this thing $5,500 worth of coverage on the boat and trailer, $2,500 worth of coverage on personal items, including fishing gear, complete replacement for fire, theft, vandalism, and you even have liability coverage. Say if something freaky happens and you actually like ram into somebody or something happens. It even gives you some medical coverage. So, I mean, it's like a no-brainer. For $155 a year, I am completely covered with this thing with pretty much anything that could happen to it on or off the water. My garage burns down tonight, you know, I will get enough money to buy another kayak and replace it. Or if I'm out fishing, you know, I flip the thing over again and it floods out this new Sonar that I got for some reason, it'll cover it. I can get a new setup. So y'all may think I'm crazy, but I think it's well worth the money considering how much money I actually have in this thing. If anything happens to it in the future, I at least can relax and have some peace of mind and knowing that I'm covered. So anyway, that's what I'm up to, folks. I hope to see y'all out on the water soon. I hope all of y'all had a wonderful weekend, and hope some of you got out and did some fishing, had a good time. Hopefully this season will be a good one. So peace out, guys. See ya.